The board will now come to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus. Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Evans.
Present.
Alderman Page.
Present.
Alderwoman Gracia.
Present.
Alderman Coder.
Here.
Alderwoman Rice.
Present.
Alderman Gunther.
Here.
Alderman Balmer.
Present.
Alderwoman Martin. Alderman Stevens.
Here.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
Present.
Alderwoman Howard.
Present.
Alderwoman Green.
Present.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Present.
Alderwoman Peel.
Present.
Alderman Todd.
Present.
Alderwoman Davis.
Present.
Alderwoman Spencer. Alderman Collins Muhammad.
Here.
Alderman Boyd.
Present.
Alderman Vaccaro.
Present.
Alderman Narayan.
Here.
Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
Here.
Alderwoman Boyd.
Present.
Alderwoman Navarro.
Present.
President Reed.
Here.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Present.
Alderman Bosley. Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Spencer.
Present.
Alderman Cone. 26 present, you have quorum.
Quorum being present, I don't know if our Pastor John Watson is with us this morning. Pastor Watson? No, I don't think he was able to make it. Please join me in the prayer. Giving all honor to God, Almighty God, source of all authority, we humbly ask guidance in our deliberations and wisdom in our conclusions. Amen. We will dispense with line item. We're going to take up a special order of business. I think we have a courtesy resolutions to present this morning. Alderman from the 19th, you recognize on motion for our courtesy resolutions calendar.
Mr. President, members of the board, I ask for approval of our courtesy resolution calendar today.
Moved by the Alderman from 19th.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from 22nd. Alderwoman from the 26th, you recognized on resolution 92.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. Today is October the 1st, which kicks off so many things. There's so many amazing things going on in our city, but one thing that we wanted to recognize this morning was that October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And so Resolution 92 is bringing advocacy, awareness, and attention to domestic violence awareness and domestic violence survivors, which I was taught in learning in that to say they are survivors of domestic violence. We know it looks different in different places. Most people might see it physically, but it also comes physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, in different ways. So with that, we have some people here that would like to speak on Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Please introduce them, Alderwoman.
Okay. I'm trying to see who's on first. So I will, of course, bring up my sisters with the Diamond Diva Empowerment, and they will introduce the other guests. This is a regional collaborative issue that we are addressing this morning. So thank you for having us on. Thank you for having them on, rather.
Welcome. Please proceed.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. My name is Brandy Jelks. I am with Diamond Diva Empowerment Foundation, and this is our Executive Director, Ms. Dr. Marlo Gaines. She has just joined the staff.
Good morning.
Good morning. We also have, like I said, we are with Diamond Diva Empowerment Foundation. We also have the YWCA. Ms. Samantha is with us. And we also have Ms. Kat with us from the Crime Victim Center. This is a collaboration of us all. And I will let Ms. Kat go ahead and talk about the whole initiative. And I know we have an event and Samantha has an event, and we'll talk about those because it's a whole week of events. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy. Hi, like she said, my name is Kat Kosavera. I am with the Crime Victim Center, but I am here really representing the community of domestic violence advocates, which are coming together to try to turn St. Louis purple for domestic violence. We're really targeting the week of October 17th through the 23rd. And we are reaching out to local businesses, agencies, landmarks, and public spaces to try to have them either decorate, galvanize their social media presence, or even change any lighting to represent the color purple that week. And if they can't do it for a whole week, then we are asking them to do it for the day of Wednesday, October 20th. And like Brandy said, we do have a few events structured into that week. One, which is a memorial for the victims who are no longer with us because they're, the violence turned into a homicide, which so often does. And then on Saturday, we are having a rally for survivors and for the community to really call awareness and get the momentum behind this. We are offering a toolkit to agencies and businesses, and that includes social media graphics. So we're really trying to take all the hard work out of this. We are offering ribbons and stickers and pinwheels, as well as local resources, national resources, and some good information on how to help. Because domestic violence is a very complicated situation, and a lot of people just think, well, leave. But that's actually not the best thing to say to somebody in that situation. And so we've provided some tools on how to navigate those conversations. So I will turn it over to Brandy and Samantha to talk more about the events that we have going on for that week.
Thank you, Kat. So Samantha is on. She's with the YWCA. Their event is actually on the 20th, and they are going to do a visual, and I would love for her to go more in depth with that.
Good morning. Thank you. My name is Samantha Wayans. I am with the YWCA, and as was stated earlier, the YWCA for over 20 years internationally has been part of Week Without Violence. So on October 20th, this is a little less than 10 years that we've been hosting a candlelight vigil, and it is to honor victims and survivors of domestic violence, to recognize those who have been taken from us, but also to do as a community collaborative effort as to not just memorializing, but also we do a call to action. What can we do? So a lot of times what we're hearing, and we're talking about domestic violence, we're recognizing, but this is also a moment for the community to come together to participate by, changing lighting to be purple, but to have a group meeting to show St. Louis strong, to show all the individuals who stand with victims and survivors of domestic violence. So we will be hosting our candlelight vigil October 20th at 6 p.m. at the YWCA. This is an open event to all. And again, it really is to take that time to honor as well as to call action as to what we can do as a community, because there are steps we can take. So just be very welcoming, open to anybody who would love to participate. And just to put a plug in, I'm just very excited. We have a lot of great organizations and resources in St. Louis. It's very exciting to see us come together and stand strong. So thank you for the opportunity to speak this morning.
Thank you.
All right, so Diamond Diva Empowerment and Foundation, we are one of the agencies that's part of this collaborative. We are very excited about this. What our agency does is we work with them after they've left the situation. How does it look to rebuild their lives? So that's why I've taught, like Sister Hubbard said, survivors, because they have survived, they are out, and now it's time to rebuild and restore their lives. So with that being said, we're going to have a rally walk in the Grove the 23rd of October. We will have every agency there. We will have resources. So, because sometimes, how do you get out? Are there resources? What do you do? So we will have everybody there. There will be a resource. It will be a resource gala. We will have speakers. I know there are more political figures that are recognizing this as well. So we welcome you all to come down, as well as Corey Bush, Carla Bang on different levels. We will have entertainment. We will have pledges to be a part of this and to help this community and advocates just really coming together to support anybody and to bring awareness so they can avoid possibly being in the situation or recognizing the red flags. So with that, we will do a walk through the Grove, and then we will come back and we will celebrate surviving domestic violence in the Grove. So like I said, that will happen. We have t-shirts, we have vendors, we will have food trucks. It's going to be a celebration for the survivors.
Absolutely. Unlike in the past, domestic violence has been seen as a crime against women. Unfortunately, that is not the case at this time. And so we're recognizing that domestic violence is taking place in homes that are transgender, that are LGBTQ. We're looking at domestic violence from a global place where we're trying to offer and administer support to anyone who is experiencing familial crime or domestic violence in a situation with someone that they love. So our hopes are that we can bring in a greater and stronger awareness, and we can gain support, additional advocacy. We need to have everyone looking at this from a broader perspective and being a part of the movement to stop domestic violence. Yeah.
Well, is that it? I want to make sure that did you get all your speakers and everybody in?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Thank you so much.
I want to just, first thank the Diamond Divas for all that you do. I've had an opportunity to attend some of the events that you've been part of, and you always add extra level of education and information and engagement to it. And I just want to thank you all for the work that you're doing. But before I finish with everything I want to say, I know that there were a couple aldermen. I know Alderman from the 22nd had his hand up.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just want to celebrate and appreciate all the work that the ladies do. This is a very serious issue. I know several people have been involved in those type of situations, and I just want to thank you for all the work that you do. And Mr. President, I also would like to move that we pass this resolution in bank.
It's been moved by the Alderman from
Second.
and seconded by the Alderman from the 14th. I think it was the 9th and maybe even the first one. And the 8th. All right, there we go. There you go. So it's been moved and seconded that we adopt this resolution in bank. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Have another copy of this resolution created in bank.
So noted.
Any further discussion? The Alderman from the first had her hand up, but it went down. I don't know if you took it down or whatever.
Mr. President, I was going to do what the vice president, and I want to make sure I say vice president because I accidentally called my vice chair the vice president in streets meeting, and I thought the vice president was going to have a heart attack. So I was going to say what the vice president was going to, what already he said. And again, I just want to publicly apologize for accidentally calling the alderman from the 3rd ward the vice president of streets committee instead of the vice chair. Now, have I done enough mea culpas, Mr. Vice President?
You're okay with me, Alderman from the first.
All right. That was a great cleanup. Alderman from the 19th, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just want to also thank the organization. I've watched you all and been a part way back in the background for a number of years. It is amazing how it is not given enough attention to these situations. So whether it is a mate or marriage situation, or a child and parent situation, or a child who is caring for an aged parent, that's domestic violence too that occurs. So we have a lot to work with, and as far as making it better for all. And I need you to publish somehow to the alderpersons how you can become a member, because your organization needs to have funds, and sign me up. Thank you.
Excellent. Someone from the Diamond Divas like to add that information of how you sign up, or how can people engage with your organization to get more involved in the things that you're working on?
So you can go to our website at www.D as in dog, E as in Edward, F as in Frank, 2deaf.org. And you can sign up there to be a volunteer. You can always email us and we can get further in depth. We are willing and open to meet with anyone. Anything that's going to help the community, we are here for, we're here to do that. So we would love to because it is a taboo topic. A lot of people don't want to talk about this. This is not so prestige. This is not, and what is it? Breast Cancer Awareness Month is very important. There's an end result, and we share that month. I've actually had survivors that have had cancer, and they were going through a situation when they thought their abuser was going to take care of them. So we just want to highlight it. There are people that are living through it. Let's celebrate them. And the ones that have not, let's actually, mourn them. But you can always go to our site. You can call our office, 314-328-4348. And you can just pop up. We're right down in the Grove. We're in the big high rise right at the Grove, across from the White Castles and the Quick Trip on the 6th floor.
Excellent. Excellent. Alderwoman from the 17th.
Good morning. Thank you, President Reed. Thank you, Alderwoman from the 26th, for bringing this to our attention and to the public's attention. Diamond Divas, thank you for being here. YWCA. I would love to know what time this walk-in people are watching at this time. So it's October 23rd at.
It starts at 10 a.m. and it will end at 2. We will actually start our walk portion at about 11:30 to 12:30, and then we'll come back and do some celebration. We even have talked about all the advocates coming together on stage, and we're going to do a karaoke piece for you all of I'm a Survivor. So those are some of the things in play to make sure that we're definitely celebrating the people that have gone through this or going through it, and be a resource for them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Well, going back to the Alderwoman from 26, I just want to thank you, Alderwoman, for bringing this forward. Thank you for your continued work on these very important subjects. And as I said, thanks to the Diamond Divas and all the other participants that are working to raise awareness and create a safer situation for people in their homes. I can't thank you enough. You're saving lives. And you're stabilizing households by doing what you're doing. And as you know, this resolution is the highest honor the board has to give any organization or individual. And what it does, it cements in time some of your many contributions up until this point. So when people go back 100, 200 years from now and see how cities were able to tackle domestic violence and turn that around, they will be able to read your story and know that you passed this way and you committed enough work on the front end to transform the future for people. So thank you again for what you've done and what you continue to do and what you're doing here. Let's give them a big round of applause and thank you. Thank you. Alderwoman to 26, you always bring great things to this board, so I appreciate you. And if you have any closing comments, we'll welcome them now.
No, thank you to all my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President. This is overwhelming, so I'm glad to know that we are bringing this advocacy awareness and like Alderwoman Davis said, funds to this issue, because no money, no mission. So thank you. And I know you all probably teasing it was a given that this was easy for me because I love purple. Purple is my favorite color, so I can't wait to see everybody and everything purple.
Well, with that, it's been moved by the Alderwoman from 19th, seconded by Alderman from 22nd, that we adopt our courtesy resolutions calendar. All in
Mr.
favor?
President.
Alderman from the 22nd, I'm doing the vote now. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Alderman from the 22nd, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. President, before we close that motion, I just want to add my name to resolution number 93.
Oh, we did it in bank.
We did it in bank. You
No,
moved it.
that was 92.
No, 92. That was
Yeah.
92.
Yeah, you can get the information to the clerk. Since it's a courtesy resolution, I think we're still in order.
Okay, thank you.
Back to our regular agenda. Introduction of honor guests. Introduction of honor guests. Alderman from the 23rd.
As always, I'd like to have my good friend Greg Meyer as my special guest.
All right, welcome, Greg. Any further introductions? Alderman from the 10th, like to wrap us up.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Welcome to Walk Your Dog Day here on October 1st. It also was the 1962 Johnny Carson's first Tonight Show. But more importantly, in 1974, the Alderman from the 23rd's favorite piece of cinema premiered, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He took his budding fiance to that movie so they could have a romantic evening that night. Thank
you. Approval of the minutes.
Approval of the minutes dated Friday, September 24th, 2021.
Alderman from the 10th, you recognize on approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move for approval of minutes from September 24th.
Second.
Moved by the Alderman from 10th, seconded by Alderman from 22nd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Report of city officials.
Report of city officials can be found in A, B, and C of the agenda and has been placed in the Alderman's mailboxes. Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for reappointment to the Westminster Lake Special Business District, the reappointment of Ms. Christine Bennett. I respectfully request your approval of the appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from 28th, you recognize on the motion for the mayor's appointment to the Westminster Lake Special Business District.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the mayor's appointment to the Westminster Lake Special Business District.
Moved by the Alderman from 28th. Entertain a second on. I think that
I'll
was
second that.
seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Dear members of the board, I have the pleasure to submit the following individual for the appointment to the Central West End Community Improvement District. The appointment of Ms. Mai-Ho-Hai So, whose term will expire July 1st, 2022. I respectfully request your approval of this appointment. Sincerely, Tashara O. Jones, Mayor.
Alderman from the 28th, you recognize on the mayor's appointment to the Central West End CID.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the mayor's appointment to the Central West End Community Improvement District.
Moved by Alderman from the 28th. Entertain a second on that.
I'll second that.
Seconded by Alderman from the 23rd. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. With that,
Consent of report of city officials.
We would dispense with line item 7. Would anyone like to take any bills off of any of our informal calendars? Would anyone like to take any bills off of any of our informal calendars? We'll dispense with line items 8 through 10, first reading of board bills.
Bill 105, an ordinance approving a redevelopment plan dated September 21st, 2021 for 3601 through 3609 Lendell Boulevard area. Board Bill 106, sponsored by Alderman Boyd, an ordinance to submit a 2022 annual action plan to the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development as required to apply for funding under the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnership, Emergency Solutions Grant, and Housing Opportunities for Persons with AIDS entitlement programs, authorizing and directing the mayor and comptroller on behalf of the city of St. Louis to enter into and execute agreements with HUD for the receipt of 2022 CDBG Home, ESG, and HOPWA funds. Board Bill 107, sponsored by Alderman Cone. An ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the Director of Airports and Comptroller of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute on behalf of the city the Third Amendment to the Banking Concession Agreement AL 278 between the city and U.S. Bank Association, amending the Banking Concession Agreement AL 278 as amended. Board Bill 108, sponsored by Alderman Cone, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing the Director and the Director of Airports and the Comptroller of the City of St. Louis to enter into and execute on behalf of the city the First Amendment to the Lease Agreement AL 205 between the city and Boeing Company dated October the 20th, 2008, containing a severability clause and an emergency clause. Board Bill 109, sponsored by Alderman Cone, an ordinance recommended and approved by the Board of Estimate and Apportionment, authorizing and directing the Director of Airports and the Comptroller of the City of St. Louis, owner and operator of the St. Louis Lambert International Airport, to enter into and execute on behalf of the city a luggage cart rental concession agreement AL 022 between the city and Smart Take Cart, containing a severability clause and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 109, sponsored by Alderwoman Davis, an ordinance approving a petition to establish the Steel Coat Square Community Improvement District containing an emergency clause and containing a severability clause. That is extended first reading of board bills.
Reference to committee.
For the HUD Committee, Board Bill 105 and 106. To Transportation and Commerce Committee, Board Bill 107, 108, and 109. And to Ways and Means, Board Bill 110. That is the extent of reference to committee.
Second reading.
The following board bills were reported out of the Streets Committee with a due pass recommendation. Board Bill 77, sponsored by Alderwoman Tyus, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic at Theodosia Avenue, 75 feet east of the east curb line of Union Boulevard and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 78, sponsored by Alderwoman Tyus, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic at Pauline Place at the east curb line of Union Boulevard and containing an emergency clause. Board Bill 79, sponsored by Alderwoman Tyus, an ordinance directing the Director of Streets to permanently close, barricade, or otherwise impede the flow of traffic at Cope Brilliant Avenue, 75 feet east of the east curb line of Union Boulevard and containing an emergency clause. That is the extent of second reading report of standing committees.
We dispense with line item 14, perfection consent.
Board Bill 62, sponsored by Alderman Collins Muhammad, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in an exit place from Marcus Avenue in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with the Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 64, sponsored by Alderwoman Martin, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in the easternmost 8.52 feet of water Water Street from East Davis northerly approximately 143 feet in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 65, sponsored by Alderman Boyd, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in Semple Avenue from Ashland Avenue southwardly to a point in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 67, sponsored by Alderwoman Middlebrook, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel beginning approximately 830.5 feet southeast of Humboldt in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with the Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Charter of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacations. Board Bill 68, sponsored by Alderman Gunther, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for vehicle, equestrian, and pedestrian travel in an irregular portion of 12th Street considered as excessive right-of-way adjacent to 1204 through 1206 Lynch in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 70, sponsored by Alderwoman Middlebrook, an ordinance recommended by the Board of Public Service to conditionally vacate above surface, and subsurface rights for equestrian and pedestrian travel in First Street from Angelica Street southwardly to its terminus in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, as hereinafter described in accordance with Charter Authority and in conformity with Section 1.4 of Article 21 of the Charter and imposing certain conditions on such vacation. Board Bill 81, sponsored by Alderman Todd, Alderman Vaccaro, and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Michael P. McMillan Way pursuant to ordinance number 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Auburn Avenue and Page Boulevard and run north on Auburn Avenue to the intersection of Auburn Avenue and Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. Board Bill 83, as amended, sponsored by Alderwoman Evans and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name Captain Dave Dorn Way pursuant to ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Dr. Martin Luther King Drive and Sarah Street and run north on Dr. Martin Luther King Drive to the intersection of Whittier Street and Dr. Martin Luther King Drive. Board Bill 88, sponsored by Alderman Collins Muhammad and Alderwoman Clark Hubbard, an ordinance authorizing the honorary street name William Lacey Clay Boulevard pursuant to ordinance 68937, which shall begin at the intersection of Natural Bridge Avenue and Fair Avenue and run west on Natural Bridge Avenue to the intersection of Natural Bridge Avenue and North Newstead Avenue. Board Bill 94, sponsored by Alderwoman Schweitzer, an ordinance establishing a two-way stop site at the intersection of Bates Street and Leona Street, regulating all traffic traveling westbound and eastbound on Bates Street at the intersection of Bates Street and Leona Street. That is the extent of perfection consent calendar.
Alderman from the 10th, you recognize on the motion for the perfection consent calendar.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move that we approve the perfection consent calendar.
Moved by the Alderman from the 10th, entertain a second on that. Seconded by the Alderman from the 23rd, and there's someone else.
13.
And the 13th. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries. Dispense with line item 16 and 17, third reading, report of engrossment.
Board Bill 61, floor sub, sponsored by Alderman Oldenburg, President Reed, Alderman Coulter, Alderwoman Davis, Alderman Boyd, Alderman Vaccaro, Alderwoman Howard, Alderwoman Middlebrook, Alderwoman Evans, Alderman Collins Muhammad, and Alderman Bowman.
Alderman from the sixth. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Ordinance to make it unlawful for an individual to lift the door handle or otherwise try the door of the locks of successive vehicles to gain entry to the vehicles unless the individual is the owner of the vehicles or has the owner's permission to enter the vehicle.
Alderman from the 16th, you recognize on the third reading and final passage of Board Bill 61, floor substitute.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I move to third read and final pass, Board Bill 61, floor substitute.
Second. Alderman from the 16th, seconded by Alderman from the 10th. Alderman, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we had a pretty healthy debate during perfection on this board bill, which I think was based on the vote of that perfection. There's clearly some virtue that this body finds in passing this board bill in a final capacity today. And I think we reached good compromise with the mayor's office and with the public safety director's office. And recently at a town hall, the mayor was quoted by saying, all citizens should feel safe in their homes and in their neighborhoods, and we should use every tool in the toolbox to keep people safe. And I couldn't agree more. And I think while this board bill in totality doesn't execute fully on those laudable goal statements, it is just part of the equation. And I would appreciate everyone's final favorable consideration in the vote as we proceed.
All right, any further discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we third read and final pass Board Bill 61 for substitute. Alderman from the 16th, you recognize to close.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the board, I renew my motion.
Moved and seconded that we third read and final pass Board Bill 61 for substitute. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderwoman Tyus.
Aye.
Alderwoman Middlebrook.
Aye.
Alderman Bosley.
Aye.
Alderwoman Evans.
Aye.
Alderman Page.
Aye.
Alderwoman Ingracia.
No.
Alderman Coder.
Aye.
Alderwoman Rice.
No.
Alderman Gunther. I'm sorry, Alderman, I didn't hear you.
Aye. Aye.
Got you. Alderman Bowman.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin. Alderman Stevens.
Aye.
Alderwoman Schweitzer.
No.
Alderwoman Howard.
Aye.
Alderwoman Green.
No.
Alderman Oldenburg.
Aye.
Alderwoman Peel.
Aye.
Alderman Todd.
No.
Alderwoman Davis. Alderwoman Spencer.
Aye.
Alderman Collins Muhammad.
Aye.
Alderman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderman Vaquero.
Aye.
Alderman Narayan.
Aye.
Alderman Cone. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard.
No, Alderman Cone is a no.
Thank you. Alderwoman Clark Hubbard. Thank you. Alderwoman Boyd.
Aye.
Alderwoman Navarro.
No.
President Reed.
Aye.
Alderwoman Martin. Alderwoman Davis. Twenty aye votes and 7 no votes.
By your vote, you sustain the motion. Alderman from the 16th and third read and finally pass Board Bill 61 for substitute. Report of engrossment.
Board Bill 61 floor sub.
All other business being suspended, the president shall in open session affix his signature hereto to the end that these may become law. first reading of resolutions.
Resolution 95, sponsored by President Reed and Alderman Coder. Health Commissioner's Order number 3 for COVID-19.
Alderman from the 7th, you recognize on first reading of resolution 95.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I request unanimous consent on resolution 95.
Hearing no objection, please proceed, Alderman.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Resolution 95, we did this just a month ago. Under state law now, we have to renew, health orders relating to COVID-19 every 30 days. So all resolution 95 does is extend Dr. Eccles' indoor mask order for vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals for another 30 days to keep us in compliance with the law passed by House Bill 271 last session. I think I mentioned last month that we passed this unanimously. I'm hoping we can do that again without much disagreement. Masking is just one of the tools we have to combat this pandemic. We need everyone to get their shots as well. So please, all of you, I know you're doing this, but please continue to encourage your constituents to get vaccinated and mask up so we can beat this thing. And with that, I move to adopt Resolution 95.
Moved by the Alderman from the 7th.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 8th, and there was someone else that I missed.
14.
And 14. Any discussion? All in favor signify. Alderman from the 12th.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Mr. President. I snuck in quite late with that. But I would just like to request with the approval of the Alderman from the 7th that I be added as a co-sponsor to this resolution.
Madam
And
Clerk.
I would also.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from the 6th.
Please add me as well, Mr. President.
Madam Clerk, please make note of that. Alderman from 14th, and I'm going to ask you.
I'd like to move it to make this in bank.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we make resolution 95 and bank. It's been moved by the Alderman from the 14th, seconded by a whole host of people, and I'm going to say Alderman from the 24th because there was
Okay, somebody.
and Alderman from the first, and Alderman from the 12th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So it's been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 95, which has been made in bank. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Madam Clerk, please make note.
So noted. Resolution 96, sponsored by President Reed and the following alderpersons: Vaquero, Alderman Boyd, Vollmer, Howard, P. Boyd, Collins, Muhammad, Bosley, Davis, Coder, Oldenburg, and Evans. Subpoena authority of committees.
Alderman from the 22nd, you recognize on the first reading of resolution 96.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. Resolution 96 is a resolution that helps create more efficiency as we govern our committees. It creates more transparency, and it actually puts us in line with most government entities like Congress and the state, where committees don't have to go back to a full body to get subpoena power if it was not in the original resolution. I'm surprised it didn't have more co-sponsors, but it's not to be contentious. It's eliminate a two-step process. And again, makes it more efficient. And also, here's the piece for me about accountability.
Alderman from 22nd, your video froze. Alderman from 22nd.
Any department within the city of St. Louis.
Yeah, your video,
Yes.
your video, you said, here's the piece about account, and then your video froze. That's the only thing.
Oh, it's also about accountability. It's not limited to city departments. Based on our charter, if there's any contractor per se, if they may have a contract with the city and maybe we thought something nefarious was going on, we could subpoena the CEO of that corporation, have that person appear before the committee. It's pretty simple, straightforward. And with that, Mr. President, I ask for unanimous consent on resolution 96.
Objection.
Okay.
There's been an objection to unanimous consent.
Sure. Mr. President, that's very interesting, especially with the people who objected to unanimous consent. It's kind of benign if there's nothing nefarious going on. I couldn't imagine why anybody who's a chairman of a committee would not want to empower the committee more to be able to do its job more efficiently. But I'm not going to tie the Board of Aldermen up this Friday with this. I would encourage any chairman that's interested in being on the resolution to contact me. Anyone who wants to be taken off, contact me. And I look forward to a lot of good debate on this, because I am very intrigued to see what a problem this would be for the committees to have this type of power. So with that, Mr. President, I would move that resolution 96 go to the Rules Committee.
It's been moved by Alderman from the 22nd that we sign resolution 96 to rules. Seconded, I think it was Alderman from the 14th.
Yes.
Moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Madam Clerk,
Let's extend the first reading resolutions.
second reading,
We have none.
miscellaneous and unfinished business.
We have none.
Announcements.
Monday, October 4th at noon, the members of the street committee will meet at noon at the St. Louis City Toll Lot located at 7410 Hall Street. The committee will tour the toll lot as the beginning of the investigation of the operations of the toll lot. Because of COVID-19, members will travel in their own vehicles. All members of the Board of Aldermen are welcome to accompany the Streets Committee on the tour. Tuesday, October the 5th, HUD will have a meeting at 9 a.m. via webinar. Wednesday, October 6th, Streets will have a committee hearing at 10 a.m. via webinar. Then they will discuss the investigation of the city toll lot operations. Thursday, October 7th, Public Safety will have a meeting at 9 a.m. Legislation will have a meeting at 11 a.m. Friday, October 8th, Full Board meeting, 10 a.m. via webinar. That's the extent of the announcements.
Any further announcements? All the ones from the 19th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I just wanted to remind all of us that National Night Out is celebrated by the city of St. Louis on next Tuesday. I'm looking forward to it. Our neighborhoods are planning great events. I want to invite all who are interested in a good 3-on-3 championship event with basketball at Tiffany Park. Tiffany Association and Botanical Heights Association have joined together for National Night Out. For the last 3 weekends, we've had the competition for the basketball, and this will be the culminating. So if you're interested, come by, and that's at 6 p.m. Of course, Terry Park, the Gate District area, they have theirs at Eads Park. And so we're very excited about all that's happening, and make sure that you take a chance to go out and talk to your residents, most especially your senior buildings. Thank you.
All right. Alderman from the 28th.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to invite everyone to Porch Fest this Sunday in the Skinkard Bolivar neighborhood, starting at 1 o'clock, and it goes throughout the afternoon. It's a free outdoor concert around every corner in the neighborhood. So bands set up on porches, and you can get a map at Kingsbury and De Pere. Stop by there, pick up a map, and then just spend the afternoon enjoying a lot of great music. Hope to see you out there. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Alderwoman. Alderman from the 7th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. We got a busy weekend downtown. Sister Strut with the breast cancer awareness event that I guess is usually a walk, but this year is going to be a drive. Kicks off downtown tomorrow morning. Cars, I think, start lining up around City Hall at 7, and the event starts at 9. So come on down and support that. We've also got the Q in the Lou Barbecue Festival near Keener Plaza, which kicks off tonight. We've got pit masters from all over the country cooking their best dishes right at Keener Plaza. And last but certainly not least, we've got our St. Louis Cardinals who have clinched a wild card spot, hopefully beating the Cubs this weekend at Busch Stadium. So hope to see you all downtown this weekend. Hopefully the rain doesn't hurt our plans. Thanks.
Excellent. Alderman from the 8th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. And I'm sure everyone will be crossing their fingers and toes for good weather for this weekend with all of these incredible events happening. I am announcing 2 events that are happening in the 8th ward. On Saturday and Sunday, we have the historic Shaw Art Fair, and this is held on 2 blocks, the 4100 and 4200 blocks at Flora Place, the tree-lined boulevard in the middle of the Shaw neighborhood, Saturday from 9 to 5 and Sunday from 10 to 5. And we did not have this event last year, so we're very much looking forward to this beautiful outdoor art space. And then also the Missouri Botanical Gardens Best of Missouri Market is going on this weekend. So starting today, noon to 8, and then Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 5 over at the Missouri Botanical Gardens. They are asking for folks to purchase tickets so that there are specific times that you are coming and going to make sure that the crowds are manageable in these times of COVID. So mask up and enjoy the weekend.
Thank you. Alderman from the 22nd.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I would like to send a big shout out to my mother-in-law, my constituent, Melvia Whitfield, who will be celebrating a birthday on Sunday. So thank you.
Oh, happy birthday. Alderman from the 13th.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I wanted to let everyone here know that tomorrow at 10 a.m. At Luther Eli Smith Square, there's going to be a Stop the Bans rally for abortion justice, and I hope to see you all there.
All right. Thank you for that announcement. Alderman from the 4th.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd just like to send a birthday wish to all of the Librans of this month. I am one. My birthday will be Monday. I'm not telling how old I am.
Happy birthday.
Just let you guess. And those of you that know, I'm watching.
Happy birthday, Alderman from the 4th. Let's give her a big round of applause.
Thank you.
All right. I saw the Alderman from 26. I don't know, her hand was up and then she dropped. Alderman from the 17th. Alderman from the 17th.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. I want to announce that this weekend there's going to be Grove Fest, and it's going to start at 3 o'clock on October 2nd until 11 o'clock in the evening. So come out for Grove Fest again. We've had it for many, many years, and it'll be a bunch of fun. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any further announcements? Any further announcements? All right. Alderman from the 10th, you recognize on the motion to excuse.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board. I am proud to announce that at one time or another, we have all been present or accounted for today.
All right, excellent. That's great news. You are now recognized for the motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Mr. President. I proudly will announce the motion to adjourn to October 8th, 2021 at 10:01 a.m.
Moved by the Alderman from the 10th. Entertain a second on that motion.
Second.
Seconded by the Alderman from the 4th. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed.
No.
Too late. Too late.
No.
Motion carried. And I thank you all for a quick meeting today. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend and a great week.